Hey guys, it is an insane weekend, and I just kind of want to quickly break down how you guys should summon if you are going to summon, and if you're deciding not to, what the steps to take to decide that as well. So I'm going to try to make this one a little bit faster than usual. First of all, we got Wukong being reran. He is being reran a little faster than Kagiri, but we can reasonably assume that Kagiri will be in about a month or two, most likely around anniversary. It is just a hunch, but still something that is pretty likely. Then we also have a 20x for Yuri, who's very good, especially in anti-air arena, and Lord Phineas, who is incredibly good in Abyss. And finally, we have an ancient banner with Cassiel, who I have a video on if you guys want to check it out. Highly recommend. He's so much fun. He's very strong. He's not the most game-changing unit of all time, but he is quite solid and very interesting. But unfortunately, he's paired with Araka. So let's break it down. First of all, if you are planning on going for Wukong, you should do a pity swap. Pity swap basically means you go up to about 190 pulls out of the 200 to guarantee Wukong, or at least you go until you're around pity. Then you swap your banner to Yuri and Phineas, and then you can pop a legendary there, swap back to Wukong, and then you will be able to get essentially 2 legendaries for a similar price of 1. I do recommend you do that because these are both very good banners. So with Wukong, should you summon for Wukong? The answer is yes, unless he's A5 already. If he is not A5 already, let's say you have him A3, and you're thinking, maybe I don't want to pull for Wukong A5 because A3 is already strong. No, pull for A5. I encourage you guys that pretty much everyone should have a Wukong A5. Basically, one of the best boss killers in the game. Kagiri is sometimes better, but in a lot of areas, Wukong is better. It kind of just depends on the content. But realistically, Wukong is amazing in Arena. He's amazing in Abyss. He's amazing in APOC. He's amazing in Guild Boss 1. You know, you want Wukong Awakenings. And even beyond that point, if you do not have Wukong, let's say you started after the Wukong banner, maybe you missed Wukong before, you absolutely need to pick up at least one single copy. Awakenings are recommended. His Awakenings are very good. His A1 allows you to stay alive a lot easier, giving everyone around him extra life. A3, it gives you a chance to stun and makes your clones do more damage. And the A5 just increases his ult damage by twice and increases his damage after his ultimate. He's incredibly good. All of his Awakenings are good. You should go for Awakenings on Wukong. Number 1, unless he is A5, and even if he is A5 and you want to have some unpolished soulstones back so you can awaken someone like a Kagiri, for example, that is also an option. Now, moving on to Yuri Phineas. Yuri is very good, heavily underrated. If you guys are earlier in the game, let's say less than a year in, maybe you're focusing on the 21s, the Gear 21s, or you want to push Arena a little bit. Even if you're late game and you want to push Arena a little bit, Yuri is a great pickup. I would argue that Yuri early on is better than Silas for progression. The thing is, once you get into later game, she's going to become more of a specialist unit. She is very good in Gear 3. You can use her alongside a Silas in the new stages of Gear 3. She is incredibly good. She puts out the defense down on the boss. She does quite a bit of damage, and she's just simply very good. As you can see right here, Yuri is doing decent damage and buffing Silas's damage, and that is all at A0. Yuri is quite strong there, and in anti-air arena, she is almost required if you want to push for something like Apex. I am able to push, to High Overlord on my account, on my alt. I use Yuri team to hit Apex very consistently. When you're trying to get to Apex, it's very hard to beat Lady A teams. It's very hard to keep kind of at a good pace compared to them. But there are some Yuri teams you can use. Now, if you go through, most of these are going to be Lady A, which is annoying. But you can still kind of relatively counter it with Yuri because of how she works. She'll just hit targets that most other units cannot hit. She's very good. Her ult is very large. That's her main use. Next, we have Lord Phineas, which, like I said, is more of an Abyss specialist. Now, he is very good in Guild Boss 2. He's great in Guild Boss 1. He's great for a lot of boss content, especially in an Infernal team. But for Abyss, he really, really shines the most because not only does he do an okay amount of damage, most of this damage is on the shield. It doesn't show his shield damage. Phineas also buffs Sul'Kadan. So Phineas gains 50% attack in his ultimate, which is really good. This actually boosts Sul'Kadan's because Sul'Kadan's takes your unit stats to make himself stronger. Phineas is great at doing that while simultaneously hitting for a couple million a hit if he's built well, right? He also has damage down on the boss with his exclusive artifact. I'm probably going to make a video on the best way to hit 60k just for fun. And Phineas is integral if you're going to use a Nightmare team. Now, there are poison teams that work. They do require a 1 Vorn and a 3 Nasia to even get close to the same level. But it is still worth mentioning that if you're running an Infernal team like me, let's say I don't have Phineas, I'm going to need Phineas. Partially because he's a ground unit as well, and you need 3 ground DPS, and sometimes it's hard to get a ground DPS. So Lord Phineas really fulfills that role. If you do not have him and you're using an Infernal team or you want to use an Infernal team, you know, the Sul'Kadans, even Twin Fiend. Twin Fiend works very well with a Phineas. You're going to want to pick one of them up, for sure. His Awakenings are solid, same with Yuri, but you really don't need to go for them. And next we get to the very disappointing banner, which is the Araka Cassiel banner. There's 2 ways this can go. If you really want to get Cassiel, you really love Arbiters, you really love Northerners, you want to just get all of them, or you want to get the good ones, Cassiel is a great pickup. Like I said, I have a video on Cassiel. He's a lot of fun. He'll just ult like 5 times in a row. A couple of things that hold him back are he needs to be around a bunch of allies, and he has an auto ultimate, which can be a bit rough. He has shared damage, which is really cool. He has realistically a lot of different things going for him. He's quite fun, but unfortunately, when it comes to ancient banners, it is more about the Lord than it is about the unit. The unit you can potentially pick up, but there is no normal unit pity. So what happens is if you were nowhere near pity for Araka and you don't mind if you pull one, then you can go for Cassiel. Cassiel's a lot of fun if you really want it. But if you're close to pity, I would never ever pull on a non-ancient exclusive Lord banner if you're getting somewhat close to pity. This is going to be a skip for most people unless you really desperately want Cassiel. He's a good addition to the pool, but I do not think you should pull in this banner. So overall, just to quickly recap, Wukong, you need to pull on him no matter what, unless you have an A5 in which you can change your mind. You should be pity swapping for Yuri Phineas banner. Both of these units are amazing pickups. And then Cassiel Araka. Cassiel's great, but I would skip it because realistically, it's more about the Lords than the normal heroes. And the final thing I'll leave you guys off with is we have Tactical Mastery potentially coming out soon. We have Kagiri banner most likely being rerun. We have Narissa, who's really strong. Pharisee replacement, way, way better than Pharisee, surprisingly, even though Pharisee's a top 3 healer in the game. There's a lot of stuff to save for, so just keep in mind that those things also exist. So if you can help it, you already have your Wukong A5, for example, you don't really need to pull on any of these heroes, then I would save some summons for Narissa and for Kagiri when he gets reran, and for the new Tactical Mastery faction. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day or night, wherever it is where you are. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. And that's it for me. Destined signing out.